Alright, it's winter time. We have our redneck snowmobile here, and we're going to do some, well, redneck mods. So what are we up to today? It's the dead of winter in January. I want my snowmobile to have higher handlebars by this weekend, because I am sick and tired of bending over and reaching for my handlebars when I stand up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little mount here, and we're going to make an extension, let's call it, so we can lift the handlebars up a bit. I was going to also bring them forward a bit more, but unfortunately, in order to do that, I'll have to remove this air box. I don't have a pod air filtered in order to replace it. So as soon as I do happen to get one, I will replace it, and I will tilt these bars forward so they'll be forward more and up. But right now we're just going to bring them forward a bit just by this pivot here, and also raise this block. So let's say, I don't know, I'm thinking at least 3 inches. We should have enough cable for 3 inches, as you see here. So hopefully now we won't run into any problems, and I'll give that a shot. Alright, so this one turns out to be a fairly simple mod. So what we have here is we have basically a full bolt pattern on a handlebar clamp. So what we're going to do is actually fairly simple. We're not actually going to modify any of this. What we're going to do is we're going to replace these bolts with quite a bit longer ones, and we're going to place a spacer underneath here to give us the desired height that we want, and that's pretty much it. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to use for a spacer, and yeah, and then find the right size bolts. That shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so I changed my mind. Go sue me. After careful review and looking after the sled here, I've come to the conclusion that it's not necessarily the problem with the handlebars being not high up, but if you look carefully, the handlebars are actually offset. So realistically, my handlebars are pushed backwards. When they're straight up and down, they're pushed backwards. You see that? Maybe get that angle like this. See, they're in fact pushed back from that center point. So what's going to happen is, no matter what, my handlebar motion is going to be a wide arcing kind of sweeping downwards, and I want it more straight on. I want it straight on to that point, and then it'll allow me even to tip it forward a bit more, and it'll give me less motion of this handlebar digging into my leg when I'm going. So what I'm going to do is, because I never plan on doing putting the speedometer back on the sled. I have it, but I don't ever plan on putting it back on. So I'm going to chop off the handlebars here, chop off the handlebar here, and I'm going to re-weld a straight piece of pipe the length that I feel it should be. And when it's all said and done, this is what the handlebars will look like in the end. As you can tell, what I've done is I have welded in this piece of pipe here, and it's a little bit hard to see, but I welded around. I had a little bottom piece welded up there. What I did to determine what height I can have these handlebars at was actually quite simple. I just checked the highest point I can have these cables and still be able to use my full range of motion without them being caught or binding up. And then that I determined was the highest point I could put my handlebars. So I put them as high as I possibly could, because I am very tall and I want them as high as possible. Still a little bit short for me, but I bet anybody else who gets on this sled, I have my friend on this sled, and he absolutely loves the height of the handlebars, and he's about 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", and I'm 6'7", so a little bit harder for me to get the right height without the extensions. But if you want to do this on the cheap, this is the way to do it, because this cost me, other than that piece of pipe that I had lying around, nothing. If you want to buy that piece of pipe, it's going to cost you a few dollars. Or if you want to get really in depth, you want to get way out there, which you probably won't need to do, you could get these cable extensions. Again, it depends on the snowmobile you're on. In this case, on this Enticer, I had enough cable. Some sleds you might not have enough cable for doing this handlebar lift. So very important, check your cables, because if you don't, you're going to be bind up when you turn the, you're going to find that one day you're riding along and you take a hard left or a hard right on your sled, and your throttle gets pinned to full, and you end up in a tree. And then all your hard work on your hood gets ruined. So, pretty simple. I'm going to do a paint on it at one point. Right now it hasn't been painted yet. I would highly recommend, if you have the time, paint everything that you're done welding with or done any sort of sheet metal work with, because it'll last a lot longer and it won't rust through. In this case, I did not have enough time. I was doing it the day before I left on my snowmobiling trip. So one day I'm going to go and I'm going to paint everything in one go, and it's all going to be black because black is easy. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check me out on Facebook. I got a Facebook page. Like me on Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because it'll keep you up to date on all the videos and everything that I'm doing. And obviously you're gonna find out about videos firsthand before anyone else. So just it's really simple. Yeah, if I got a Twitter account by now, you could check me out on Twitter. I'll probably post something funny. I'm not a very funny person, but I try to be on occasion. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. If this helps you out, great. If it doesn't help you out, well, I tried at least. Always leave me a comment. I always like hearing what you guys think I should do next, what you would like me to try out to see if it works or not, because I would gladly do something just to give my opinion on it. All right, guys, take care.